Hello everyone, welcome to Nunuya channel. Today, we're tackling a tough but important question. What happens when you don't sleep? We've all pulled an all-nighter before, whether for work, school, or even binge-watching a TV series. But what happens when the hours turn to days? When sleeplessness stretches beyond what the body and mind can handle? Tonight, we unravel stories of people who stayed awake longer than they should have, and the bizarre consequences they faced. First, let's talk about the science. Sleep is like a reset button for your brain and body. It strengthens memory, helps repair tissues, and regulates mood. Without it, things start to break down. Cognitive function declines, reaction times slow, and eventually, hallucinations set in. The world record for sleep deprivation is 264 hours, 11 days, set by high school student Randy Gardner in 1964. By the end, he was disoriented, paranoid, and struggling to complete basic tasks. But surprisingly, he recovered fully after a long sleep. Medical studies show that after just 24 hours of wakefulness, cognitive impairment is similar to being legally drunk. After 48 hours, the body's immune system weakens, and by 72 hours, reality starts to slip away. People become emotionally unstable, develop microsleeps, and even experience waking dreams. The longer you go, the worse it gets. After 96 hours, the body begins shutting down in strange ways. Hormonal imbalances spike, the immune system begins collapsing, and delusions intensify, making everyday tasks nearly impossible. But what if you're forced to stay awake? What if sleep deprivation isn't a choice, but a nightmare? The DJ who went too far. In 1959, a New York radio DJ named Peter Tripp attempted to stay awake for 201 hours as part of a publicity stunt. It started out as an endurance challenge, but by day 3, things took a dark turn. He began seeing spiders crawling in his shoes, convinced his staff was plotting against him, and held full conversations with people who weren't there. By day 6, his perception of reality was completely distorted. Even after he finally slept, those close to him said he was never quite the same. The man who never slept again. Nguyen Van Minh, a farmer from Vietnam, claimed he hadn't slept in over 40 years after suffering from a fever in his youth. Though doctors studied him, they couldn't find a medical explanation for his condition. He functioned normally, worked long hours, and never seemed fatigued. Was it a rare disorder, an extreme case of microsleeps, or something else entirely? His case remains a medical mystery. The Russian sleep experiment, fact or fiction? Then there's the infamous Russian sleep experiment, an internet legend about Soviet scientists keeping prisoners awake for 15 days using a gas stimulant. The results? Let's just say it's a horrifying tale of madness, self-mutilation, and violent paranoia. But is it real? While no official records exist, the story has fascinated horror fans for years, leading some to wonder if there's truth behind the fiction. Even if the experiment itself was fabricated, there are real-life government studies on sleep deprivation that have eerie similarities. The psychological and paranormal side of sleeplessness. Some believe that prolonged wakefulness opens a door to something beyond science. Paranormal experiences, shadow figures, and an altered perception of reality. Many insomniacs report seeing strange things in the dead of night, from shadowy figures lurking in corners to hearing voices whispering in the silence. Sleep paralysis is a well-known phenomenon, but could extended sleep deprivation unlock something even more sinister? Could sleep deprivation be a gateway to the unknown? Some cultures even believe that sleep deprivation weakens the boundary between our world and the spirit realm, allowing entities to slip through. Ancient folklore from various cultures describes spirits that prey on those who remain awake for too long. Shadows that whisper, figures that move in the darkness, and a growing sense of something watching from just beyond perception. Sleep, the ultimate cure. So what's the takeaway? Sleep isn't just rest, it's survival. Whether you're a student pulling an all-nighter, a truck driver pushing past exhaustion, or someone who struggles with chronic insomnia, the truth is simple. The longer you go without sleep, the more reality distorts. Have you ever experienced extreme sleep deprivation? Seen something you can't explain in the dead of night? Share your story with us. Strengthens memory refers to the role sleep plays in consolidating and improving memory. When we sleep, our brain processes and organizes information from the day, transferring short-term memories into long-term storage. This helps with learning, problem-solving, and recalling information more efficiently. Cognitive function declines means that the brain's ability to think clearly, process information, remember things, and make decisions becomes impaired. This happens when someone is sleep-deprived because the brain doesn't get the rest it needs to function properly. It can lead to slower reaction times, difficulty concentrating, memory problems. Cognitive impairment refers to a decline in the brain's ability to think clearly, process information, and make decisions. It affects memory, attention, and problem-solving skills. In the context of sleep deprivation, cognitive impairment means that the brain starts functioning less efficiently, leading to forgetfulness, difficulty concentrating, slower reaction times, and poor judgment. Fatigued means extremely tired or exhausted, both physically and mentally. In this context, it refers to someone who should feel tired due to lack of sleep but mysteriously does not. Self-mutilation refers to the act of deliberately harming or injuring oneself, often as a way to cope with emotional distress, psychological conditions, or in extreme cases due to hallucinations or delusions. Until next time, sleep well, if you can.